Live from News Channel 8, this is Toyota Sports Talk.
Are you not entertained? It's just one thing after another for these Washington Redskins. A day after general manager Scott McCloughan was fired, Redskins quarterback Kirk Cousins officially signed his franchise tag. That's according to his agent. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Toyota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Scott Abraham. Thank you for starting your weekend with us. Redskins fans, this show is for you. Call it a therapy or counseling session as we discuss the latest chapter of this reality show that seems to never end. In a moment, I'll be joined by Jake Russell of the Washington Post, but this show is all about you, the viewers. We need you to call in for our questions of the night. Will the Redskins ever be drama-free, or is it just so ingrained in the team's DNA that there is little hope of change? And there's a lot of fan unrest out there. So we ask, have you thought about divorcing the Redskins, or maybe a trial separation? What keeps you cheering for this team? Give us a call, 703-387-1020. And with that, time to welcome in Jake Russell of the Washington Post and author of 100 Things Nationals Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. Jake, great to have you on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks
I appreciate
for coming on. So, it's been a busy couple days for the Washington Redskins. What's your initial, I guess, takeaways and reactions from these last couple days?
Wait, something's happened? Like, what am I missing?
Right? I've been holding on to a rock for a couple days.
Well, the first impression is I'm not surprised that McCloughan was fired and in the way it happened. I'm just surprised that it happened in 2 years and not 3 or 4. I thought he would get a lot more time than he was given. I thought he had proven himself as a football guy, and I think the Redskins needed his guidance while he was there. It's really disappointing how it went down, and it's sad on all parts with the Redskins side and McCloughan's side. But, I mean, it usually doesn't end well with the Redskins. If you're hired with the Redskins, you're hired to be fired. And it doesn't normally end well, especially the higher up you get. Snyder and Allen like their control. Like I said, I was surprised it happened in just 2 years.
I know there's reports out there about maybe alcohol usage of Scott McCloughan, but do you think there's maybe an underlying situation there of maybe a power struggle between McCloughan and Bruce Allen that ultimately led to the separation here?
From everything I read, that was the primary issue, and that doesn't surprise me coming out of Redskins Park. The whole everything with the Redskins, it's all about power. They want to have control of the message, even though they didn't do a very good job of that the last couple weeks. Like in the Seth Wickersham article back in January of 2015, I believe, or the month before McCloughan was hired, McCloughan admitted he was still drinking. So that wasn't really a surprise. And the Redskins, if you're a professional organization, you have to do a lot of vetting. And that was out there in the public, so they had to have seen that article and read it, and they had to have asked him, and I can't imagine he wasn't honest with them the whole time. He seemed very forthright and open with the media during his introductory press conference about his issues and what was like going forward. So I can't see how they didn't see an issue in the future, and if they didn't help him, that's on them.
What I couldn't stand was this charade of he's not with the team because his grandmother's funeral, or they're you know, they were just extending, it seemed like the inevitable. I mean, did you think they handled this whole situation poorly?
No, it was as bad as it could get. I mean, Bruce Allen and the higher-ups there, they think Redskins fans aren't that smart. They can be nuts at times, that's for sure. That's kind of comes with the territory. They didn't think they could look up and find Scott McCloughan's grandmother's obituary online and find out the facts and information from there. Yeah, it said it was scheduled for, her funeral was scheduled for February 13th, but it could have been delayed. But when Bruce Allen said that the funeral was a week, or she died a week or so ago, when it was actually a month before when he did that interview with that radio station in Nashville, that was just another sign of, oh, the Redskins fans, they can't find this stuff out. They'll take me at my word, and that was just kind of poor planning on their part.
From an outsider's point of view, and granted, I'm not at Redskins Park all the time, but it seems like Bruce Allen is kind of the bus driver here.
Yeah, he is. It seems like he's the one with the most power, and a lot of people are saying Dan Snyder shouldn't necessarily be blamed for this. I believe he should take a lot of the blame and most of the blame because he's the owner. It's his franchise. Everything, no matter if it's his fault or not, reflects on him. It's his baby. He needs to take care of it and make it look as good as possible, even if it's not running well. Bruce Allen, like I said, he's not necessarily always aware of the public image of the team and how the fans will perceive him, and that was kind of clear the last couple weeks.
You know better than anyone, this is a critical time of the year for NFL teams. This is a terrible time not to have a GM in place.
It really is. It couldn't come at the worst time. Scott McCloughan loves the combine, and I'm sure it had to eat him alive to not be there, to see all the players and interview them. He said, one of the things he said when he first joined the team, he loves getting to know the players, getting to see how they are, ask them the same question multiple times to see if they answer it the same way or if they answer it differently, to get to know them as people, not just players, because they already know how they are as players. They have the film out there. But to not have McCloughan there for the combine and for free agency was pretty surprising. But for what they've done so far, I think they've done pretty well for themselves despite the turmoil and chaos surrounding them.
The NFL draft approaching April 27th through April 29th. If you're part of the Redskins front office, do you rush to kind of bring in a GM, or are you going to kind of take your time here?
If the information that they're saying is true, that Mike Mayock and Mark Dominic are the two primary candidates for the GM position, you kind of don't want them saying too much and tipping their hand as to what their draft strategy might be. So if you're the Redskins and you're really considering them, you don't really want them saying much, because that would give you a disadvantage going into the draft as to your thinking. The word out there is they'll probably wait until after the draft to make a decision. And with these names leaking, it could also be a PR standpoint, because they know everybody likes Mayock. They like his knowledge. They like how he comes across on TV. It could be either a big PR issue that they're trying to make everything look good, or it could be legitimate. But if it is legitimate, they have to be very careful what they're leaking out and what they're not.
Let's go to Kirk Cousins. The big news today, signing his franchise tender, so he's locked in Washington for at least another year. $24 million he'll be making this year. This also means the Redskins can officially now trade him if they would like to. How's this all going to play out?
I followed this team my whole life, and I can see the Redskins redskinning this up and just having him here for just this franchise tag for this season, and then not coming to an agreement on a long-term deal next offseason and getting nothing for him in return. Vinny Serrato was on the radio today and said Dan would not trade to Kirk Cousins to Kyle Shanahan and give him that satisfaction unless he got like a king's ransom in return. And if I'm in the Redskins' shoes, I would want a big return for him too, because he set team records the last 2 years. You haven't had a quarterback like this since Brad Johnson. And if you just let him go for nothing, that'll be the biggest mistake the Redskins have made since letting Brad Johnson go in favor of Jeff George.
Do you think Kirk Cousins wants to be here?
Only if the money's right. I think his feelings have been hurt enough by where he was drafted, first of all, then seeing how Robert Griffin III was treated as a superstar and as a king, essentially, and his kind of showing favoritism with the owner and the GM and basically the whole fan base chanting RG3 all the time. And then now he shows up, produces, and doesn't get the contract he thinks he deserves. I think he's kind of fed up with this. But if you pay him enough, then he'll definitely come back for the right price. I mean, money talks.
My biggest concern with this whole situation is I'm worried this is going to linger. This is going to be a distraction for the whole year. Us media members, we're going to be grilling
it's always the media's
coaches and front office and Kirk. Where are you guys at on long-term progress? You know, do you want to be here? Mm-hmm. I'm almost at the point where trade him. If he doesn't want to be here, trade him and just start fresh. Maybe bring back RG3. I don't know. He's back. He's got cut by the Browns today. No, that's a joke. But you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't want to be here, he's got to be he's the quarterback. He's the leader of this football team. I mean, you got to get something for him.
You'd have to make this a 5-hour show if Griffin came back. This could go on all night.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to have some phone calls here, and we're going to open up the phone lines coming up here, and this is the counseling session, and we want to hear your frustrations. You can vent to us. That Redskin Circus, it's back in town. The phone lines are open. Give us a call, 703-387-1020. Let's get it popping on this Friday Sports Talk. We know Skins fans, well, they're one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. One of their more famous fans tweeted out his frustration with the team today. Look at this. Dale Earnhardt Jr. not holding back on Twitter. One of his followers told him there's still time to switch to the Dallas Cowboys. Jr. responded saying, "No chance. I'm betting on outliving this bleeping carousel." The NASCAR driver trying to keep the faith with his burgundy and gold. Welcome back to this Redskins Friday Frenzy on Toyota Sports Talk. We are joined by Jake Russell of the Washington Post. You can follow him on Twitter at _Jake Russell. Ready to get to those phone lines?
Yes, sir.
They're buzzing. All right, let's go to Larry in McLean. Larry, how are you tonight, my friend?
Hey, guys. Love your show.
Thank you.
Just wanted to comment on the latest drama with the Redskins.
Okay.
unfortunately, it's just another sad example of the drama and dysfunction of this organization since Dan Snyder took over the ownership.
Who do you blame? Do you blame Snyder? I mean, it seems like he was pretty much non-committal in maybe this power struggle between Bruce Allen and Scott McCloughan. Who's the blame on how this situation was handled?
I think ultimately the blame falls with the owner.
Okay.
He writes the checks. He's pulling the strings. He may not be out in front like he used to be, but he's still making decisions behind the scenes.
So obviously, you know, you're not too happy with the way things are going. Have you ever thought about divorcing this Redskins team or cheering for another team? Or are you at the point where you've had enough? Where are you at on this?
You know, I'm a lifelong Redskins fan. I was a long-time season ticket holder. I finally got fed up with, you know, the process of going to FedEx Field and the pricing, et cetera. So I gave up my season ticket. And, you know, I had a little glimmer of hope when Gruden got here. It seemed as if he was maybe him and McCloughan together might turn their franchise around. But now I think free agents will think twice about coming here. I think, you know, getting coaches in the future will potentially be a problem. And, you know, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I can't wait to get out of here.
Well said, Larry. Thanks for watching and thanks for calling in. He brings up a good point. From a free agent aspect, if you're a free agent, you're looking to go to another team, and you see this kind of unrest with the Washington Redskins, do you really want to come here, or is it, like you said, money talks?
Those have been the reports that have been out there on Twitter and from various reporters saying some agents have said they're steering their clients away from the Redskins, and a lot of them are prominent free agents. Luckily for the Redskins, they're focusing on second-tier free agents. Second-tier free agents have less leverage than the big guys out there. I think the bigger name free agents have more of a right to choose where they want to go.
Can be picky.
Yeah, they can be more picky.
Yeah.
Secondary free agents are like, you know what?
Give me the money.
The situation doesn't affect me. I'll just go out and play.
Yeah, good point. Spencer in Oxon Hill. Spencer, how are you tonight?
Oh, man, this circus never left.
Oh, the circus. Get the peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Drama field. And Danny Snyder, I appeal to you. You should step down because you're not going to win a Super Bowl like Jack Cook. I mean, he had Joe Gibbs, and that's where my loyalties stayed and lied. His new regime is terrible. I don't like the coach, like I said. I don't like the quarterback. I don't like the owner and Bruce Allen. I don't like him. And they need to get rid of all of them. The owner needs to step down. They get a new owner, they're going to do better. They're going to make a lot of changes, and people are going to stay. And they're not going to bring Joe Barrys of the world and make a player play another position. It's terrible.
I know you've been a long-time Redskins fan. Are you kind of at the point where you're you're fed up with this team?
I mean, I have another team, too, that I cheer for, like the 49ers.
Okay.
And the Redskins were always the first, and the Niners were always the second. But if the Redskins keep up this circus, I'm going to just cheer the Niners on first and make them second.
All right, Spencer. Thanks for watching and thanks for the call as always. Let's quickly go to KC in Alexandria. KC, how are you?
Yeah, what it do?
What's going on?
Man, I'm tired. I'm tired of these Reds.
You're just shaking your head. I can see it. I can see you right now.
Yeah, man.
So who do you blame here? I mean, obviously McCloughan's gone. They handled the situation poorly. I mean, where's your head at in that process?
I mean, they just letting all the good players go, man.
Yeah, Deshaun, Pierre. I mean, how are they going to replace those guys?
Man, I don't know. But as far as Cousins, they need to go ahead and let Cousins go, man.
Why do you think that?
Man, I mean, if you want to roll, let him go.
Yeah.
Don't hold on to something that you don't want him to go. I mean, if he don't want to be there, let him go.
Yeah, it's a good point. But my counterpoint is you're almost kind of starting over if you do let Cousins go. I mean, what's the alternative?
Yeah, for real.
So, all right, Casey. Thanks for calling, Casey. Appreciate the phone call. And, I mean, what is the alternative? I mean, if you don't have a Kirk Cousins as your quarterback, I mean, you have a Colt McCoy. I mean, how much can you rely on Colt to kind of put up those numbers and move that offense down the field like Kirk did?
Well, the word is that the Redskins feel they're very confident in Colt McCoy. And I guess they also look at it from a financial standpoint. From what I understand, I think Colt McCoy makes $3 million this year.
Yeah.
And if they're going to pay Kirk Cousins $24 million, it's about 8 times as much as Colt. they figure Colt's not going to be 1/8 of Kirk. He'll be a lot better than 1/8, and they'll get more bang for their buck, the more, return on their investment.
I mean, I think it's kind of late in the game right now when it comes of getting a free agent quarterback, and my gut tells me they're going to probably keep Kirk for the 1 year, and just, is he going to be unhappy? Is he going to be a leader? I mean, that's going to be determined in the coming months. So we have a lot more to discuss on these Redskins Sports Talk edition. A lot of your phone calls coming in. Give us a ring, 703-387-1020. Stay with us. The fun is just beginning here on Toyota Sports Talk. Well, welcome back, my friends. Jake Russell riding shotgun with me tonight on Toyota Sports Talk. Let's go back to the phone line. Sean and Hancock, thanks for holding. Sean, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So, you know, these questions of the night, is this team ever going to be drama-free?
Is that really a question?
Come on, man. You got to answer.
No, they're not going to be. Part of the reason they'll never be drama-free is because too much media, for one. I mean, when people circulate rumors about the stock market, I mean, the Redskins are like Wall Street with speculators.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair statement. I mean, media could be, they're part of the storm. Go on.
There are two teams I could see, though. I hate to say this because I am the ultimate Kirk Cousins fan. I mean, he turned the franchise into a family there for a year or two. And there will be no RG, me. But I could see Kansas City or Detroit because Cousins was a Detroit Lions fan. Stafford has
big.
1 year left.
Yeah, but they have.
I mean, that could be an even swap, or you could see an Alex Smith, Eric Berry for Cousins. But I hate to even say that. I want Cousins to want to stay, but if he doesn't want to stay, there's nothing we can do to make him. I would fire Bruce Allen.
Sean, do you ultimately think Kirk Cousins wants to stay here, or do you think he's kind of ticked off of how things were handled last year with his contract situation and how things were handled with McLuhan, and he's kind of at his wit's end type deal?
I think he's uncomfortable with all the coaches, all the changing. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty prevalent when you watch the game. Instead of saying you like that, you know, he's hitting McLuhan on the head, and he's like, how you like me now? I just beat Aaron Rodgers when you can't throw into the wind. Yeah. I did, all game.
Yep.
You know, and I really believe he really is. You look at the stats. He's a top 10 quarterback in this league, and there's no doubt about it for Cousins.
Sean, thank you. And I'm on board. I've been a Kirk Cousins guy, and I think he's done a serviceable job for this Redskins team, doing enough for this team to win. You know, are you a Kirk guy? I mean, are you a believer that he's kind of made a huge impact on this franchise, or has he just been good because of the pieces around him?
I think it's a combination of everything. He's no John Beck, that's for sure. They've come a long way in just a few years.
Yeah.
This is, like I said, if they don't re-sign him or bring him back or let him go for nothing, it'll be the biggest mistake they've made since Snyder's been owner, and that's saying something because he's made a lot of them.
You'd be starting fresh again. I mean, you can't get it'll be tough to get a veteran quarterback kind of in his prime here in Washington. You'd almost have to go through the draft and get another younger guy.
Exactly. All the quarterbacks like him are already signed up. That's why they're not available. Teams know when they have good quarterbacks. The Redskins know they have a good quarterback, and they want to pay him at a realistic value, but they don't want to pay him at market value. Market value dictates, if you're a guy like Kirk Cousins, you're much better than the rest of the people that are available. You need to pay him what he's worth, or else he's gone.
Okay. From the Redskins to the Nationals, we'll quickly talk a little baseball next on Toyota Sports Talk. Programming reminder, DC United back in action this Sunday against New York City FC. And you can see the match right here on News Channel 8 at 2 o'clock. And we're back here with Jake Russell, big Nats guy here, and author of a great book for Nationals fans. Season quickly approaching. Your expectations for this year's club? I know the closer situation still kind of up in the air. How are you feeling about this team?
I expect him to address the closer situation at the trade deadline. Rizzo doesn't like to sit back and not make moves. I can see something happening over the summer. I expect them to win the division again, but it'll definitely be a challenge this year because the roster buildup is not as talented as it was last year. And if they don't sign up Bryce, the window is going to close super fast in the next couple years.
I mean, are the pieces in place to get out of that first round of the playoffs?
They've been in place whenever they made the playoffs, and they just still can't do it. It's just all a matter of, it's like with the playoffs of the Capitals and the Wizards, it's just all a matter how the puck bounces, how the ball bounces. We'll see this year.
All right, you got a great book here, author 100 Things Nationals Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. Tell me about this book and why Nats fans need to get this.
It's basically the Nationals encyclopedia. It chronicles 100+ years of DC baseball history. It goes through all the Nationals' top moments. It goes through all the Senators' best and worst moments. Nationals fans can get it on the screen, jakerussellsports.com. All copies are signed by me, and you'll get it within a few days.
Do they get personalized?
Yeah, you can leave a little note in the PayPal when you buy it, and you'll tell me who you want me to sign it to, and I'll sign it.
So good little Christmas present there, maybe down the road, or a birthday present for Nationals fans.
It's a good present just for a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Not that I'm biased or anything.
You know what? It could be some good reading come summertime by the pool, by the beach.
100 chapters are about 2-3 pages each. Very quick, short reads. It's an easy book to get through. Fans will love it.
All right, my friend. You're off the hook. Thanks for coming
me
on. Great job tonight. And thank you, my friends, for watching. And we will see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend.